Picture this. An eye with teeth runs a crime ring under the biggest city on the coast. Out at sea, a kraken pulls strings so hard that whole towns move like puppets. Somewhere deep below, a giant brain sits in salty soup and tells mind-eaters what to do next. And that's not a campfire scare. That's just a Tuesday in Faerûn. Here's how we're going to do this. We're not chasing the biggest health bar or the flashiest spell. We're talking infamy. Monsters that changed normal life. If it bent a city, crashed a trade route, toppled a ruler, or left scars you can still point to on a map, it made the cut. For each one, you'll get who they are, where they haunt, what made them a legend people whisper about, and one clean tip so you don't end up as a snack. Sources for most of this live in well-known books and adventures. Think Monster Manual, Volo's Monsters of the Multiverse, Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, Out of the Abyss, and Storm King's Thunder. So if you love receipts, they're out there. We'll move fast and keep a steady rhythm because breaking info into small chunks makes it easier to remember and way easier to enjoy. Cool? Lightning round honourable mention so we don't derail later. Arvaya Churus, the grumpy white dragon who thinks air travel is chew toy time. Nightwalkers drifting out of Old Narfell, and Ulitharid warlords who make regular mind flayers look like interns. Alright, time for the list. The Xanathar. Yes, that Xanathar. A beholder crime boss running a thieves guild under Waterdeep in Skullport. Picture the mob, but the Don has eye beams and a goldfish he loves more than you. Why infamous? Because he doesn't live in a dungeon that no one visits, he lives under the city everyone lives. He taxes, he kidnaps, he plays chess with the black market, and he's been part of Waterdeep's story for years. How to not die, you ask? Don't clump. That big center eye throws an anti-magic cone. Spread out, hit from different angles, and if you're going to talk, bring gifts instead of ego. Think of the Xanathar like the algorithm. It sees everything, hates surprises, and will delete your ass in the name of quality control. Demogorgon, the Underdark party crasher. In Out of the Abyss, a fishfolk ritual at Slubludop goes sideways and the Prince of Demons shows up in the Dark Lake. That's not rumor. That's an event people remember the way your town remembers the year the river caught fire. Why infamous? Because when a demon lord visits, villages vanish and the ground learns new shapes. How to stay alive? Don't try to outmuscle a demon lord. Let monsters fight monsters, create distance, and leave before the water starts to boil. If the fish people begin chanting in unison, that's not your cue to watch. That's your cue to go. The Phaerûn, the desert makers of Anorok. Spiky aberrations with ancient magic so rude it helped wreck Netheril and turned green lands into the Anorok desert. Why infamous? They didn't just kill people. They killed land. That's a different tier of evil. You can still point at their work on a modern map. How to handle them. Don't stand there trading spells like you're at a school duel. Keep range, break their casting, set ambushes, and watch the ground. When wells go dry and the soil cracks like old paint, a Phaerûn is probably not far. The Abolethic Sovereignty. The Aboleth are old minds with older grudges. These are the "we were here before your gods" types, tied to a hidden city and far realm nonsense that leaves people not themselves. Why infamous? Because Aboleths don't just hurt you, they edit you. They enslave minds, they rewrite memory, and they plan on a timescale that makes empires look short. If a coastline starts acting weird, quiet towns, blank stares, rituals at odd hours, there's a good chance some ancient fish is running a group chat you can't see. How to survive? Kill the plan, not the fish. Break the ritual, smash the relay, ruin the network that keeps the control going. Also, salt, sunlight, and stubborn friends help. If your buddy suddenly says, The nice fish wants to help? Stage an intervention. Slarkrethel, the kraken with a resume. Chosen of Umberlee, very old, very smart, and founder of the Kraken Society, an intel web that stretches along the northern coast. Why infamous? Because you might never see him, but you will feel him. Ships change routes. Dockmasters clam up. Lords go missing. Whole towns behave like someone offshore is pulling threads through every house. How to fight back? Don't fight the ocean. Fight the organization. Crack the spy ring ashore. Flip agents. Trace sending stones. When you cut eyes and ears, the big boy in the water loses reach. If every rumor in the harbor ends with "don't say that out loud," it's time to pack a bag and maybe a new name. The Elder Brain is the boss of bosses in a mind flayer hive. Picture a giant brain sitting in brine, storing memories and giving orders to dozens of mind flayers and who knows how many thralls. Why infamous? Because one Elder Brain is a quiet city killer. It doesn't smash walls. It recruits your guards, your dockhands, your mayor, one thought at a time, until your whole town blinks in the same rhythm. How do you not become a chew toy? Don't duel every mind flayer you see. Unplug the router. Find the pool. Strike fast. Bring anti-charm help. Noise, decoys, anything that breaks the hive mind rhythm. If your group starts finishing each other's sentences in a creepy way, someone needs a helmet and a long nap. Dargoth, the Creeping Doom. Imagine a black dragon who decided death was a fun side quest, became a Draco Lich, then opened a lab. He lairs in tunnels north and east of Waterdeep and collects projects the way dragons usually collect gold. Why infamous? Because he doesn't just do harm, he manufactures it like an edgelord Willy Wonka. Vats, notes, experiments that spawn new nightmares. That can scale pretty quickly. How to get out alive? If it breathes acid and also runs a lab, don't play melee hero. Deny materials, burn the notes, wreck the vats, and leave before the dramatic second form speech starts. If the cave smells like old pickles and spell ink, you found his pantry. That's not a win, by the way. That's a warning. Claw Gilliamatar, aka Old Norbone, aka Queen of Green Schemes, is an ancient green dragon of Cryptgarden Forest. She doesn't just hunt, she handles. She buys people. She funds bandits. She nudges trade wars. If your enemy keeps getting surprise gear and perfect timing, check the tree line. She's probably smiling behind the leaves. Why infamous? Because her power shows up in city meetings, not just forest fights. How to beat her? Don't swing at the dragon first. Swing at the web. Expose deals. Flip her agents. Burn the bribes with daylight. And if you have to fight in her woods, don't breathe deep. Greens love gas. Iymrith, the Doom of the Desert. Ancient blue dragon sorcerer, also known as the Dragon of the Statues, who plays very big games around the Anarok and the politics of giants. Why infamous? Because she wins by breaking teams from the inside. If you ever see more lightning than clouds, that's her mood. How to survive? Don't try to outstorm a storm. Get cover. Get inside the lair logic. She loves decoys and stone tricks. Smash the statues, kill the ritual, end the plan that makes the sky angry. Fighting her in open sand is like arguing with the sun. Pick a better arena. The Tarrasque. The everyone move now button. Usually asleep, then not. When it wakes up, cities stop joking about walls and start drawing evacuation lines. Why infamous? Because it doesn't make deals. It makes holes. Kings pause wars. Priests lose sleep. The only stat that matters is how fast can we get people out. How to survive? Move people first, heroics second. Get height and mobility, but remember it punishes flyers and shrugs off most tricks. If you're not packing world tier magic, your job is to save lives and wait until someone with a wish shows up. If you can see it, you're already too close. And that's the shape of it. This list isn't big thing hit hard, it's monsters that bend daily life. A beholder who sets rent prices from the sewers. A kraken who changes who wears the crown. A demon lord cameo that becomes a bedtime warning for the next 3 generations. That's what infamy looks like in the realms. Whole cities adjusting their day around something with teeth. Now I want your pick. Who's your number 1 nightmare and why? If it moved borders, wrecked markets, or scared rulers into better manners, drop it below. I'll pull your best comments and build a follow-up, maybe a deep dive into the Kraken Society's playbook, or a not at all relaxing tour of Crypt Garden. Either way, keep your map handy, your party spread out, and your exit planned. And remember, Faerûn's monsters don't wait for permission. They schedule themselves.